Hey, New Orleans. Kicking off episode number 2 of my first year in the Army, and today's episode is going to be about my first duty station. So, for me, I got stationed at Camp Hovey, South Korea, in the city of Dongjucheon. Um, what's interesting about that is that it's kind of a peacekeeping mission in partnership with South Korean people. So, pretty important to our U.S. diplomacy. I'm not going to talk politics. That's not why we're here. I want to tell you what life was like for me. So, being married, 33 years old with kids, my family stayed in the United States. So, that meant I went there on what we call an unaccompanied tour. So, I did 12 months without my family. So, a little bit of a challenge, but it was well worth it because otherwise, my family would have had to be in South Korea for 4 years. And I didn't think that was really the best use of our time. So, um, that meant that I lived in the barracks just like anybody that's single that joins the military. So I got that experience of, having a roommate, having to share that bathroom every day, dealing with what comes with a dorm life, participating in, hallway cleanup and all of those kinds of things. So what was really great about being in South Korea is that I really got to learn my job and build on the training that the Army gave me. So I had a great squad leader who taught me the ins and outs of what being an Army maintainer means and how you're supposed to operate on a day-to-day basis. So pretty simple process, right? We get up in the morning, we worked out as a unit, showers, breakfast, and we go to work. And at work, we would receive, a list of what was broken or what needed to be checked out or what just needed its periodic maintenance. So we would tackle those pieces of equipment. So you learn how to do your job. Pretty great, right? That's what you want to do. But part of being in the Army is you do the bigger, more complicated things. So while I was there, my unit did, like a short little 2-day training exercise to kind of familiarize our team with setting up our tents and how to lay out our area and all those kinds of things. And then we did a month-long gunnery, which was for the Bradley fighting vehicles to go and train that those teams got certified to use their equipment. And as a maintainer, we were there to make sure that the heat stayed on because it was, January and the coldest winter in 5 years. So was a little rough conditions. You got to learn how awesome the gear that the Army gives you is so you could stay warm and protected from the elements. During that 30 days, I learned how to work outside in the cold under a time crunch and how to communicate with higher levels of Army leadership so they could understand what I needed as a mechanic and when that piece of equipment would be ready for them to use again so they could conduct their business of meeting the Army mission. So important steps for us, right? Good stuff. Then we also got to do a international joint training exercise over in the Philippines. So our unit, flew from Korea to the Philippine Islands, and we partnered with the United States Marines, the Guam National Guard, which is U.S. territory, and the Filipino Army and Marines to practice how we would work together under a mission set. So we had a, made up practice mission to run, and it was to secure a mountaintop compound and take out these like drug cartel people. So pretty cool concept. And learning how the Army operates and the steps that goes into those things and how to work with an international partner was pretty cool. Again, while I was over there for 30 days, we used a lot of our equipment, so we had to maintain it. Some stuff broke, we had to fix it. And, business as usual. Got to learn how to do some pretty cool stuff. We did some Army training while we were there. Got to know some guys from the U.S. Marines that were part of the field feeding team, which is basically our culinary specialists who cook the food, order the food, take care of it so we all stay healthy. Pretty cool. Then we came back from the Philippines, got to have like a week of kind of reintegration and relaxation so that we got a bunch of extra days off. Then my team and I went up to the mountains in Korea for a hike, and we got to see a 2,000-year-old Buddhist temple, which is something I've never seen. There's nothing that old, anywhere I've ever been in the United States. So that was really awesome. Some of the other fun stuff that I got to do while I was there, I went to the movie theater in Korea, saw the Green Lantern with Korean subtitles, English language, so kind of a cheat, got to know what was going on. But watching all those previews in Korean for their movies was also pretty neat. And they do different snacks. Then I attended a Korean baseball game. And they actually have like a cheerleader and MC for their team while they're batting, which is way different than, what we do here in the United States for baseball. So that was fun. Um, on base stuff, my unit had a flag football team and a softball team and a basketball team. I didn't get to participate in those because I'm a volleyball guy. But it was fun to see the guys get out there and do that and coach them on. Our football team actually went to a Army-wide competition that had them fly to Japan to play against the teams from Japan. So a pretty cool experience for those guys. And then we also learned some Taekwondo, which, as some of you know, started in Korea. So they taught us the fundamentals and basics of that system as part of the cultural bond between us and South Korea. So really great experience. I got to see somewhere in the world I would have never gone on my own. And I learned a whole ton about the Army. So I hope this was informative. If you got questions, hit us up. Let me know what you think. My phone number is 504-421-9114. You can look up our whole team on social media at ArmyCityPark. And then part 3 of this video is going to be coming out for next week. And that one is going to be leaving home, kind of what that was all about for me. So I'm trying to tell these stories in specific chunks so that way you can really capture it, because there's so much that goes into joining the Army, leaving for training, leaving home to go to your first duty station, and what that's all about. So hit us up, give me a like and a follow, share my video with somebody that might not hear about it, and have a great day, New Orleans.